back at the Barclay Street entrance to Stanley Park. Rhodo season is upon us, and it's only going to get better from here. We're going to visit some of the nicest rhododendrons in Vancouver. But first, I'd like to show you an ancient fern, the largest fern that I know of. The Gunther fern has remained unchanged for millions of years. It's one of the oldest plants on the planet. And it doesn't grow in many places. There's only 2 that I know of in Stanley Park. It's coming out of hibernation now. This just started this week, and over the next couple weeks it'll grow up to 3 meters, which will be taller than this. The leaves, when they are full size, will be approximately 1 meter across. So it is a pretty dramatic plant. You can actually hide underneath it, and it's very spiky and strong. 5 days later, rhododendrons are popping up all over Stanley Park. Huge. Some even bigger than this. Gunters have grown a little bit, not as much as I expected. It's a slow motion rocket explosion, but wow, look at the power in these things. Hey, here's the flower coming up. It doesn't really do much more than this. It'll get taller. That's about it. Very cool feeling though. The end of April has been chilly and wet, so we haven't had a lot of growth from the Gunters, but they are thicker. This one's about 5 feet tall. The flower I showed you earlier this week is much bigger than it was. Now that the long-lasting purple winter heather is fading, should be trimmed back in the next couple weeks, and as it's fading, it's getting replaced by azaleas and rhododendrons. Vancouver's like no other city I know for its size and variety of rhodos and azaleas, which are technically the same plant. I mean, look at these. Aren't they gorgeous? Entranceway to a place. Now, they don't last that long, but for now they're amazing. And look at that. Just beautiful, and topped by these yellow rhododendrons. In western Nepal, there are rhododendrons that will reach more than 20 meters. But they're only red as far as I know. Here we have a small Japanese maple that's just coming into leaf, which makes me worried because these much larger Japanese maples that Mr. Tran cut back last year are struggling because they've been cut back so hard. Look at that. I don't know whether they will survive. There is some sign of life, so I am optimistic. I think they might come, but it'll probably take a couple years to recover, which is kind of what this customer wanted. This front entrance was very dim and very damp last year, and this year it's much brighter. Meanwhile, up in front of the arts factory, I'm waiting for a pickup. This thing's supposed to go to Ontario tomorrow, but the truck driver turned up this morning while I was at work. Bit of a snafu. Typical. Things happen. Miscommunication occurs. Anyway, let's hope that he shows up now so this thing can get out of my space. It is common in Vancouver to find rhododendrons 3, 4, and 5 meters tall, but 7 meters, that's pretty rare. There are a few, and I'll show more to you. This one's a little scrawny, but it's tall, and I'll show you a couple of 4 meter Rhodos that are on this property. These ones are just a couple meters. Azaleas just coming in. Look at those two big white ones, hey? At 7 meters tall, this purple rhododendron is about as big as they get in Vancouver. It is a monster and only enjoyed by the people living here. Wow. Alright, we'll start out with these pink ones. Have a nice close-up. Moving on to the dusty purple. Nice close-up. Here's some trumpet peach. Beautiful bud back there. Here's our azaleas, all grouped together. These are, they gotta be 25, 30 years old, maybe more. Well, this isn't a rhododendron or a azalea or a Gunther, but I had to show it to you anyway because it's such a special tree. This is the laburnum, and it is amazing. It just blooms now, very short period of time, and then it sends down seed pods after that. And those seed pods are one of the most deadly things you can find in nature. It will kill you if you eat it. So don't eat the laburnum seed pod. Probably the flowers are poisonous too. This purple monster's gotta be 6 meters tall and 7 or 8 meters wide. It's huge. Probably one of the biggest I know of. Blooming on May 20th, so plan your next trip to Vancouver for May 20th next year and enjoy it. It's on Choco Street, public place. You can come and actually climb it. Like, this is an amazing rhododendron. 2 tones, very, very rare. I'm kidding. It's 2 rhododendrons growing together, but it's so awesome. I think we should turn it into a cartoon, hey? Woo! 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 Okay. So this is the flower we saw growing. It's now half my height, and the plant itself is pushing 7 feet, and it's still small. It's gonna get much bigger than this. But you know, I've run out of patience. It's been more than a month since I started filming this. Well, we're gonna end this video with a bit of an outlier in the rhododendron and azalea family. This here is what's called a deciduous azalea, which means it drops its leaves in the wintertime. It's just coming into bloom now. You can see the flowers are going to be really beautiful, and then because it's such an aggressive grower, we'll have to trim it back by 30% right away as soon as it's done. But for now, we're just going to enjoy the blossoms for the next couple weeks. And yeah, deciduous azalea loses all its leaves in the wintertime, whereas the rest of the azaleas and rhododendrons all keep their leaves over the winter. So there you go. Very unusual. I think I've also seen it in yellow, but it's mostly this color. Until next time.